welcome to Literary Hype. I am Stephanie, your Literary Hype Woman, and I'm back from New York Comic Con with a massive book haul. Massive. Between what I took to get signed and what I came back with, it's north of 80. If I counted correctly, it's north of 80. So, let's roll up my sleeves and go through these books. It's gonna be a minute. Before we get into what I acquired at New York Comic Con, let's go over what I took, starting with what I failed to get signed, and that includes Zachary Levi's book, Radical Love, and Cassandra Clare. This one was a reservation and you had to have a finished copy, not an ARC. And this is the only book of hers I have. And the lines were kind of crazy, so I did not want to risk missing something important like the panels I was moderating because I was in line for Zachary Levi. Next time, buddy. Next time, Zach. We will get this done eventually. Now let's talk about the books that I took to New York to get signed. These are books I already owned and took them just to get signed, and I was successful. Starting with Anyana Devijaran and her book Kismet Connection. She was on my panel and it looks like it did get dinged up in the mail. It's one I had to mail back. I had to mail books back because I had so many and I broke my suitcase. It's fine. But anyway, Kismet Connection is now signed. Midnight Strikes by Zeba Shanaz. She's another one that was on the panel of Meet Them Before They Become Stars, which is one that I moderated. I also got my arc of Unfortunately Yours signed, as well as Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. She was on my Battle of the Tropes panel. The Buried and the Bound by Rochelle Hassan. She was on my For Fans of Mythology panel. Fellow KC girl, LL McKinney with A Crown So Cursed. She was also on the Mythology panel. I also got my arc of Love Radio by Ebony Liddell signed. She was one who appreciated the fact that I was putting my signed books into Ziploc bags. I got this tip from Melanie, who I met at Y'all Fest and Y'all West, and she said that's how she travels with signed books, to keep them nice. So I tried it out, and for the most part it worked, but Ebony appreciated this. Sitting next to Ebony at the signing tables was Aaron Cotter, so I got my arc of By Any Other Name signed when I got this arc from Y'all West this year, I do believe. Tricia Levenseller was also on the Mythology panel, and so her publisher sent me an early copy of Vengeance of the Pirate Queen with its pretty sprayed edges, and it's very shiny and I love it. I stopped by Alex E. Harrow's autographing table and got my copy of Starling House signed. The publisher sent me a copy of Mermaids Never Drown ahead of doing two panels with Zoraida Cordova, who's one of the two editors on this, along with Natalie C. Parker. Adriana Herrera was also there, so she signed her short story in this book, and then Zoraida gave me a little nameplate that all of the contributing authors signed. Hopped by Tara Sims' signing table to get my copy of The City of Dusk signed, and when I got up there to have her sign my arc of Scavenge the Stars, I found it was already signed. I don't remember this, but I already got it signed. Now they're both signed. Shannon C.F. Rogers signed my copy of I'd Rather Burn Than Bloom. She was on the Meet Them Before Their Stars panel as well. And I got a double dose of Joelle Wellington because I had the arc that came to my store of their Vicious Games, and then the publisher sent me a hardcover finished copy of the book to read before the panel. And I made it over to the tables to meet P. Djeli Clark, who wrote a Benny song, so I got my arc of that book signed as well. I also got my arc of Heartbreaker by Sarah McLean signed. This is book number 2 of the Hell's Bells series. And we got to sit at a signing table together, which is still pretty crazy. Now these next two I did get a little help from. I was moderating panel at the time that they were doing signings, so the fine folks at ReadPop helped me to get my books signed. That includes Tracy Wolf's arc of Starbringer and my arc of Fourth Wing. I did not have to battle the Rebecca Yarros chaos to get this signed, which I am eternally grateful for. But yeah, now that I have my arc of Fourth Wing signed, I'm very excited. So those are all the books that I took with me. Everything from here on out is stuff I acquired while I was there. And you already saw I took my arc of Heartbreaker from Sarah McLean, so I had to get the rest of the series to get them signed as well, so Bombshell and Knockout. I already read these, but I needed to have physical copies and get them signed. I also picked up a copy of Tessa Bailey's Wreck the Halls. This is her newest book, and it is a Christmassy romance, so you know, had to get it and continue my collection of having all the Tessa books signed. Zoraida and Adrana already had panels earlier in the week, so when I went to do my book shopping on Saturday, they'd already stopped by the Barnes & Noble booth to sign, so these were already signed and had the nice little gold stickers on them. But that's An Island Princess Starts a Scandal and Kiss the Girl, which is a modernized version of Little Mermaid with 2 singers. And now on to the freebies. I know that's what you've been waiting for. I know. Let's start out with one of the kind of activities to get a book, and that was Penguin Random House's Book Oracle. This was over at the Del Rey area of Book World. So it was a little quiz that you took once a day to get a book recommendation. And so I did this 3 of the 4 days. I didn't do it on Sunday just because I knew that I was in trouble with how many books I'd already had and that it was going to become a problem getting them home. So I only did it 3 times, and I got To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chang, which is a very pretty cover, very pretty cover. I got The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, and I got Crown of Starlight, which I'm told has some spice in it, and that is by Kate Corain. Those books also came with little decks of cards that were book recommendations. I didn't spend a whole lot of time over at the Tor booth and Fierce Reads booth area this time. I don't know why, just didn't. But I did get 3 books from over there, including Where the Sleeping Girls Lie, The Baker and the Bard, and A Tempest of Tea, which Allie Hazelwood told me is really, really good. So I'm excited. I also really love this cover. A couple of booths did code word giveaways. Over at Penguin Random House's area, if you said, I'm here to claim the Shield Maiden, you got a copy of A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. And then one that was a code word at San Diego, which was just, hey, I heard there was a giveaway, was City of Stardust. So I already had this one. I didn't go back, and then I found out later that there was another book that they were giving away, so oh well. But my boss has claimed this one. So Beth, this one's for you. Quirk Books also had a code word giveaway for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the code word was on their Instagram stories. And so one day I got This Wretched Valley by Jenny Kiefer, and the other day I got The Z Word by Lindsay King Miller. The third day they were giving away the Z Word again, and since I already had it and knew that I was in trouble in my book space, I did not get another book, but they did give me a Quirk Books pin. Simon & Schuster, man, they had that booth running so smooth with all of their giveaways and in-booth signings. Like, it was smooth sailing over there. Some of the books that I got include The Band by Christine McKellums, which I got 2 of. I don't really know how that happened. It's a thing I do sometimes where I black out and forget what books I picked up. And sometimes I end up with 2. I think this is the only one I ended up with 2 of this time, though. I got an arc of Maple's Theory of Fun by Kate McMillan and Ruthie Perlman. I meant to get this one for someone else who had helped me out in getting a book earlier in the day, so I was trying to help them get something that they wanted, but they did end up making it to get their own ticket, so now I got it too. It is Pinkwickle's Folly by R.A. Salvatore. This one just looks so cute. I got an arc of Courtesy of Cupid by Nashi Jones. Like, this cover is just so cute. And thanks to Laura for helping me out and grabbing Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austin. I've had a ticket, and then I realized it was at the same time as one of my panels, so Laura went and picked it up for me. Thanks to Laura. Simon & Schuster also gave out arcs of The No Girlfriend Rule by Kristen Randall, which this cover is also one that just, it's cute, so couldn't say no. And I got an arc of The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard. Also at the Simon & Schuster booth was this dragon poster. I thought it was a book. I did go to Tor's panel where they were giving out a free book for everybody who went, and some of us decided to hang out after we got our free book just to see, and it did pay off for us because they gave us more books. So the one I initially got was The Lost Cause by Cory Doctorow. And then the bonus books I got are Exadelic by John Evans and The Hunting Mood by Susan Dennard. Source books, panel, giveaways, they were a mess once again. I can't complain too much because it worked out really well for me, but I know a lot of other people were pretty upset. It was a trivia game, so if you were in the top 5 fastest to answer the trivia question correctly, then you got a book. We noticed that even though I would hit the button first, the girl sitting next to me was getting in faster for some reason. So, you know, cell signal in a convention center is never reliable. So they told us we could be teams, so we teamed up. And so we did manage to place twice. So the first time I grabbed The Graham Effect by L. Kennedy. And then the second time I grabbed The Teacher by Frida McFadden. They told us to take a chill pill. So we kept playing, but even if we were in the top 5, we didn't go back and get books. And then we won overall, which was very exciting. So the book I picked up, that one, was Girls with Bad Reputations by Zio Axelrod. I meant to take it to go get it signed, and I completely forgot that that was a thing that was happening. And then they opened it up to, oh hey, there's some extras, so if you want a free book, go to the table in the back. And I was sitting in 2 rows in front of the table, and people were literally jumping over the chairs. I almost got kicked by somebody trying to get through. The table got mobbed. It was crazy. So me and my friends decided to try to go around and go the back way, and one of the source books people grabbed a stack of books and came over to us. So I got a 4th book, and that is Blockshot by Kennedy Ryan. Penguin Random House did something a little bit different this year, where they, before the convention, they posted a list of what all the giveaways were going to be, but they didn't drop the schedule for those giveaways until the night before. So that was a little stressful for people like me who like to plan and make their color-coded spreadsheets, whereas so I was having to write stuff on the night before. Although Thursday it was not up even when the convention opened, and that was chaotic. So those were ones that you just had to show up at the booth at a certain time and made the odds be ever in your favor. So I managed to secure a few of those, including The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland, Paper Dragons, The Fight for the Hidden Realm by Siobhan McDermott. This is the one I was probably most excited about for all of the giveaways that were on that list, because it's described as Squid Games meets Hunger Games, and yes please, yes please. And that is Snow Globe by So-Young Park. So it's K-drama-y. I want to read this so bad. I might just skip all my TBR game and just read this. It's fine. Everything's fine. Got a copy of Blood City Rollers by V.P. Anderson and Tatiana Hall, which is a cute little graphic novel. And once again, thanks to the people in my Facebook group for helping a girl out, because this one dropped during my Battle of the Tropes panel. This is Lies and Weddings by Kevin Kwan. He's the author of Crazy Rich Asians. So I am told there was a lot of pushing and shoving to get to this one, and someone was successful on my behalf, and I am eternally grateful for the friendships of New York Comic Con. I also got an arc of Once a Queen by Sarah Arthur, as well as Hunt on Dark Waters by Katie Roberts. Now let's talk signed freebies. So some of the publishers would do a ticket drop at the start of the day to get into the signing lines with giveaways. They did have some that were like, if you buy a book, then you can go to the signing line, that kind of thing. Those happen throughout the day, but I focused on the ones with giveaways. So I got a copy of A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik that is now signed. Elizabeth Lim was there signing Her Radiant Curse. I have been staring at this book at the bookstore for so long, and so now I have it. And I'm very excited because this cover is amazing. Raya Golden was there signing the graphic novel that she worked on with George R.R. Martin. The only problem is that it like closed too fast and it's very smudged, and that's just sadness. But there's a book plate, signed book plate, which I believe is George R.R. Martin, so that's cool. Raya also gave out signed prints. I also got to meet Kate Goldbeck, who wrote You Again, and get a copy of her book that just came out. She was there with the Raylo gang doing a pop culture and romance panel, and then I got to meet her and chat with her for a little while, which was super fun. I had a ticket for the Christina Henry book giveaway and was late getting there from my panel signing. So I was only like 15 minutes late, but they'd already run through everybody and were out of copies, so they gave me a copy of Near the Bone, and since Christina was still there, it is also signed. I also got Fever House, and it is signed by Keith Rosen. Jim Butcher was there, so I got an arc of The Olympian Affair, and it is signed as well. If you've ever been to a convention, you know Saturday's the craziest day, so adding to the crazy stress levels of Saturday was that Penguin Random House announced Friday night that Willow Smith would be there signing arcs of Black Shield Maiden. Thanks to Leonard for some help on this one to get the ticket. I did manage to get that. And so it is signed, got to chat for a little bit. It was a good day. An author who was on one of the panels that I moderated brought a copy of his book, and that is Too Scared to Sleep by Andrew Duplessis. So I did get that signed. And I hear there's some QR codes in this book to kind of bring some of the stories to life. This is a short story collection, and so this will be real fun. And in case you haven't figured out, I love Tessa Bailey, so when she put a copy of Fangirl Down, an advanced copy of Fangirl Down, out on the table for the Battle of the Tropes panel, you bet your britches that I was like, you should give that to me. And she agreed and gave it to me and signed it. And I love Tessa Bailey so much. And I love sports romances, so Tessa Bailey doing a sports romance has me very giddy. And to have this in my hands right now is just such a joy. So thanks to Tessa for this. I also got to take part in an influencer event for V.E. Schwab. So they gave us some food and some mingling, and at the end she signed some stuff. They had some books on the table, so I snagged one of those. And so this is signed. Other things I snagged from the party is this like vinyl record looking thing, which has some like QR codes for the audiobook and little information about the characters. Also these really cool holographic bookmarks. Did I need to get two? No. Did I? Yes. Let's talk a little bit about the swag. I did not go hard on trying to collect swag this time since I was really focused on getting the books, and that is where I basically lived all weekend, was in the book spaces. But I did run over to Crunchyroll at one point and got these little cards. Most of them are for My Hero. There is one Jujutsu Kaisen, so my siblings can fight over who gets that one. I know my sister's gonna take the My Hero ones, but my brother will probably fight to get the Jujutsu Kaisen. Raya Golden also gave me this little spaceship pin. Audible had an experience for Buffyverse and the Audible Original Slayers, so I went to that to check it out, and I took Allie Hazelwood and Julie Soto along, so definitely check that video out. But we got little coins that look like poker chips. Yeah, it's basically a poker chip. To scratch off the little scavenger hunt page, and once you found all the little icons for the scavenger hunt and you turned it in, there was this creepy little hand that came out and opened a box, and in my box was a pin with a little hand and a stake. Someone sitting in line behind me to get in one morning was handing out pins, and so I got one that is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's just like a really big rainbow blob, but I was in Willy Wonka in high school, so it was the better option for me out of the couple that he was offering. And one of the creepiest moments was when I was talking to some book friends, and all of a sudden we realized there was someone behind me, and that someone was wearing this very creepy mask from Shining Vale and handed us creepy little smile mask. I don't know that I will ever wear this or ever open it, but I have it now. And as always, I got a couple extra lanyards. New Read Pop events tend to just put them in a big tub, and you can kind of just take however many you want, and they just keep refilling it all weekend. So I got a couple for my siblings. I got a bookmark from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, which was so much fun getting to meet her and talk all things booktube and kind of get to pick her brain a little bit and hang out with her. Penguin Random House also had people from their audiobook. Penguin Random House also had some audiobook people there, and so they were giving out mugs that say listening is hot. So I got one of those. They also gave me a second one to give away at my Battle of the Tropes panel, which was so much fun. So congrats to the woman who was in the front row and nailed the book titles for us. And because I'm a good sister, I did go to the Dim Mak booth and buy my siblings some pins. They wanted Law, so I got each of them a Law. They also wanted Gear 5 Luffy, and those were sold out. So I ordered them. They'll be getting them later, but just let it be known that I'm the best big sister. So if I counted correctly, I had 82 books on me when I came home from New York. That does not include the tote bag from Forever. That is a separate haul video. So check that out if you want to see more books from my New York trip. So not counting the 12 books that I got from Hachette's offices, that means I had 70 books on me for New York Comic Con, including the ones that I got, the ones I bought, and the ones that I brought for signings. 70 books. So 82 books in total is what came home from New York with me. It's insane. I have a problem. My boyfriend's gonna kill me. I have a problem. Thanks so much for watching this massive book haul video from New York Comic Con. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.